Hello everyone, this is your weather woman meteorologist Amy Metz looking at the tornado warnings ongoing right now. We have Springfield, Missouri with a tornado warning. This one looks like to me it will end sooner than the others based on what it's embedded in. This more of a supercell type of a structure going towards Jonesboro could have the chance in Arkansas to have a stronger tornado, longer track. And then we have southwestern Kentucky also with tornado warnings. So I'm going to be looking more at that threat, where it's going, and exactly where these storms will be creating themselves so that you can have a better chance of understanding the threat level for you if you're in this region. Basically anywhere extending where from Springfield, Missouri, all the way even backing up into parts of Oklahoma. It's kind of there's a lot of severe weather out here. I don't know how to really explain the threat level so much because there's still going to be a lot of smaller storms that can have wind threats, straight line wind damages. This lightning you can see is very plentiful, so that's also another threat with these kind of storms. But it's the tornadoes that's really more condensed, I'd say, to this region where we have this line of storms that just passed Springfield with that tornado warning embedded in there. May or may not have actually touched down, but I do believe Jonesboro, not only with this cell here with the tornado warning, has a better chance of it being on the ground, but they have another chance with this second round of storms behind it that are now passing Little Rock and just north of Little Rock. So while Little Rock itself might not be getting that much rain, the northern portion of it and up into Heber Springs will see a lot more of that damaging severe weather threat. Even some hail in some cases here, I would say, especially embedded in these parts of Missouri, some small hail specifically. And then more of these more so discrete cells that are in southwestern Kentucky now. But moving on through the night, this is going to get more and more intense over Tupelo also and into Florence. Lakeview and Memphis could very well have some lines of storms and these discrete cells like we see here building up in the next few hours. We could see some shifts here. So these storms will be traveling throughout the night toward the east. Parts of these severe threats will extend into Illinois and Indiana overnight, especially as some of this warmer air mass makes its way north. Then there's a chance for that severe weather threat to go up more. That's mostly, I would say, about halfway through those states. Maybe Peoria and Indianapolis do have that chance for the more stronger, let's say, little bits of hail again. Some of the straight line wind damages, that would be something over 65 miles per hour-ish, something that can kind of maybe knock out power, pull up some shingles off a roof. And, perhaps make a mess out of a yard, of course. So that's what we're looking out for here, along with the threat for tornadoes. Even though that greater threat lies right in this region here, it does still extend with a possibility as long as these types of cells are being created, or even not of their cells, but more of this linear formation when we have these darker reds. It's more intense. So looking at up higher in the atmosphere is what I want to do for the wind shear here. At the surface, where we're seeing a lot of those storms being developed right now, it's convergence zones in areas of upper level divergence. So I'll go into just exactly how and where this stuff will be moving, because the threat will, like I said, be in these states up here, but also moving in through Mississippi as the evening goes on. And the reason is for some of this wind shear. So at the surface, we're seeing that convergence really along here. And as we go into the upper levels, we'll see that that wind direction kind of changes, especially over Arkansas and over Mississippi. It begins to come off out of a different direction where there's different pressure systems going on at different levels. And then we have the mashup of jets, which was another reason why this severe weather outbreak was something I've been watching for so long. We have a subtropical jet meeting with some bits of polar jet from the north. And when that happens, these differences have a little bit of trouble as they're kind of coming together. So right now that convergence is happening here in the upper levels. That's why there's some action there. And then as we cruise on down, 500, we get some different effects with the upper level divergence giving us the storms in Missouri. And then around 700 millibars, there's more convergence, which can be that lifting at that level, even especially near the Memphis area. So that could be going all the way up into, see how these barbs, they're called wind, where there were these little wind particles, they're pushing into one another at this level here right over Kentucky as well, where we are seeing another tornado warning. So that's one reason why we would see those storms building up here and then moving forward with stronger chances for tornadoes. So back down to the surface, we see that there's that low pressure, and as that continues to move eastward, I'll just go ahead and play this model out to make it more obvious, but as that continues to move eastward, that convergence zone will be then over Mississippi with severe weather threats, and then kind of loosening up, mellowing out quite a bit as those air masses have a chance to blend together, get an occluded front instead. And then once the temperatures, see them go to mostly all blue here, that's when that severe weather threat really diminishes. Right now we have a big mix of temperatures. So that's going to be the reason why there's excess tornadoes tonight. And so I'll just refresh this before I sign off, because of course, yes, there's more now, and they are extending up toward that same area where Peoria is, just west of Peoria at the border of Iowa and Illinois. Right now we also have an additional tornado warning. So be very aware if you're anywhere in these zones tonight. So what we saw with the Storm Prediction Center showing the greatest chance for tornadoes here, you know, I was saying, don't just think that's it. It'll be anywhere along with these stronger storm systems. That is obviously true now. So they do, of course, have them embedded in a slight risk and said that tornadoes could be anywhere within those zones. And in fact, there's quite a few already. Tomorrow and the next week will be a little more telling on which of these warnings are actual tornadoes that become reported with the damages assessments saying that they are tornadoes. But for now, this is going to be an ongoing event through the entire night, and by sunrise everything will be a little moved over to here, a little bit less intense, but that severe weather threat will linger on and even extend into Florida into Saturday and Sunday. So I hope everybody can get through these okay and everybody's safe. This is your weather woman, meteorologist Amy Metz. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook as well. I'll be updating things at www.facebook/theworldofweather there under weather.